Who's going to be the next Rangers manager? That's the burning question every single supporter is asking right now. The weight of this decision is massive. We're not just talking about someone to take charge of training sessions or choose the starting 11. We're talking about someone who might shape the very future of the club. And when you put it like that, it's no wonder tensions are rising across the blue half of Glasgow. One name that keeps coming up and is splitting opinion is Sean Dyche. And trust me, there's a lot more to that story than meets the eye. But before we dive deeper into Dyche and whether he's the man to lead Rangers back to the top, let's take a quick look at what's happening behind the scenes. Because things at Ibrox are far from settled. The club is still without a permanent manager. There's the looming takeover by the 49 Enterprises Group. And now a new sporting director is on the way. Kevin Thelwell is preparing to leave Everton to take on the role. And while that may sound like good news on paper, the reality is a lot more complicated. Alan Hutton, a former Rangers defender who knows exactly what it's like to play under pressure at Ibrox, has made it clear this isn't just a big job. It's a monumental one. Thelwell will walk into a club with high expectations, a restless fan base, and a squad that desperately needs an overhaul. He's worked with Everton Wolves and even spent time across the Atlantic with the New York Red Bulls, so he's got the experience. But as Hutton rightly pointed out, no CV can fully prepare you for what managing the football operations at Rangers really means. He's not just inheriting a team that needs a bit of tinkering. This is a full-blown rebuild. And let's be honest, Rangers haven't exactly hit the mark in the transfer market lately. The gaps are clear. The squad lacks depth in key areas, and with Celtic continuing to dominate domestically, there's very little room for error. Fans want results, they want silverware, or most of all, they want their club to feel like Rangers again. Strong, proud, and capable of taking on anyone. Now, here's the thing. Even with new investment, even if the takeover goes through tomorrow and a stack of cash is suddenly available, that doesn't mean the turnaround will be instant. Hutton put it bluntly, it's going to take time whether people like it or not. That's the harsh truth. There's no magic fix, no miracle window. It'll take a few transfer periods, smart recruitment, and some real leadership from the top down. And that brings us right back to the manager situation. Because whoever gets the job is going to be working side by side with Thelwell. That relationship will be key. If they're not on the same page, things could unravel quickly, which is where Sean Dyche comes in. The former Burnley and Everton boss is reportedly in the mix for the role. And while he might not be the glamorous pick some fans were hoping for, there's an argument to be made that he could be exactly what Rangers need right now. Let's break it down. Dyche is known for his no-nonsense approach, a hard-working ethos, and a straight-talking style that tends to resonate with players and fans alike. At Burnley, he performed miracles with limited resources, keeping them in the Premier League far longer than most expected. And yes, the football wasn't always pretty, but it was effective. That kind of grit and determination, that ability to organize a squad and get the absolute most out of it, might be just what this Rangers side needs. But, and it's a big but, not everyone is convinced he's the right fit. Reports suggest Dyche and Thelwell didn't always see eye to eye during their time together at Everton. That's a red flag. If the new manager and the sporting director aren't aligned, especially during such a crucial rebuild, it could derail everything. According to some who've worked closely with both, their visions for player recruitment didn't always match up, particularly when it came to foreign players. Some signings under Dyche struggled to get game time, only to flourish once he left. That kind of tension is the last thing Rangers need right now. Still, there's no denying Dyche's credentials. He's got the experience, the resilience, and a track record of steady leadership under pressure. And let's not forget, Rangers aren't exactly bursting with options at the moment. Steven Gerrard's name has been thrown around again, along with Marco Rose and a few others, but there's no clear frontrunner. In a way, that might actually work in Dyche's favor, because while he might not be the fans' first choice, he could be the most realistic one. Meanwhile, off the pitch, things between Rangers and Celtic continue to heat up. This Sunday's Old Firm clash is shaping up to be more than just a game. It's turning into a powder keg. Celtic have already wrapped up the league title, equaling Rangers' record of 55 top-flight championships. And with that, the debate around whether Rangers should offer a guard of honor has exploded. Former striker Chris Boyd didn't mince his words. He laughed off the idea entirely, saying there's no chance of it happening, especially with the current state of the rivalry. And he's not wrong. The tension between the two clubs isn't just on the pitch anymore. It's a boardroom level, it's cultural, it's personal. Boyd pointed out that Celtic won't even refer to the rivalry as the old firm anymore. And the mutual respect that once existed is now pretty much gone. A guard of honor, forget it. The bitterness runs too deep, and Sunday's game is going to be played with that edge in every tackle, every pass, every moment. Despite all of that, Boyd believes it's going to be a cracking match. Both sides have everything to play for. Celtic want to show why they're champions, and Rangers, well, a lot of players are fighting for their futures. With a summer overhaul looming, this is one of the last chances for some to prove they deserve to stay. Barry Ferguson's already made it clear performances in these final matches will matter. A lot. It's not just about pride. It's about survival contracts and being part of whatever comes next. And that's exactly why the next few weeks are so critical. Between the incoming sporting director, the managerial search, the potential takeover, and a squad on the brink of major change Rangers are standing at a crossroads. Every decision from here on out matters. Every step has to be calculated, focused, and in sync. There's no room for ego, no space for conflict, and absolutely no time to waste. What happens next will define the club's direction, not just for next season, but possibly for years to come. The pressure is immense. The expectations are sky high. But the opportunity is massive. This is a chance to rebuild, to reset, and to remind everyone what Rangers Football Club is all about. So here's where things get really interesting. While everyone's eyes are on who's going to step into the dugout next, there's this massive undercurrent that a lot of people are starting to pick up on. And that's the chemistry or potential lack thereof between the next manager and Kevin Thelwell. Because let's be honest, you can bring in all the talent in the world. But if the people making the decisions behind the scenes aren't pulling in the same direction, it's going to fall apart before it even gets off the ground. That's the concern with Sean Dyche. Plenty of people who followed Dyche's career closely, especially during his time at Everton, say he's a manager who likes things done his way. He's not one to just go along with whatever the sporting director says. And at a club like Rangers, where there's so much pressure to deliver immediately, that kind of friction could be a serious issue. We've heard reports that when Dyche was at Everton, some of the players brought in under Thelwell barely got a look in. They were bench sidelined and in some cases even frozen out. Now that Dyche is gone, a few of those same players are seeing more minutes under David Moyes. That raises questions, not just about Dyche's preferences, but about whether he and Thelwell can truly work together again. But even with all of that, there's a camp that believes Dyche might still be the steady hand needed right now. He's the kind of guy who thrives in chaos, who can walk into a messy dressing room and get people pulling in the same direction. That might not be the long-term visionary leadership that fans dream about, but in the short term, when everything feels like it's hanging by a thread, it could be exactly what's needed. The guy knows how to simplify things, focus the group, and get results, especially when backs are against the wall. Still, it's impossible to ignore how divided the fan base is. Some are completely against the idea. They want someone with a more modern approach, someone who will bring attacking football and a fresh tactical outlook. Others are a bit more pragmatic. They see the state of the squad, they see the situation at board level, and they're thinking, maybe a bit of stability and discipline wouldn't be the worst thing. It's a classic crossroads moment. Do you go with the idealist vision, or do you try to steady the ship first and dream big later? Now, while all this plays out as still that looming clash with Celtic to deal with, and if you think emotions were already running high, this next old firm might just blow the roof off. The champions are coming to Ibrox, and despite everything on the line, there's zero chance they'll be greeted with a guard of honor. That tradition is long gone in Scottish football, at least in this rivalry. Chris Boyd summed it up best. The respect that once existed is basically dead. There's too much history, too many grudges, and the relationships at board level are ice cold. And this isn't just about players or managers anymore. This is cultural, political, historical. It's about identity. Rangers and Celtic don't just compete on the pitch, they represent different sides of a deep divide in Scottish society. So when you add football glory on top of that, the tension is unreal. Celtic fans will show up at Ibrox ready to celebrate their title, and Rangers fans will want nothing more than to spoil the party. It's not just another fixture, it's a battle of pride. And that's why even with the league decided, it still means everything. What's more, this match could serve as a final audition for several Rangers players. There are guys in that squad who probably already know their days are numbered. Maybe they've had the conversation behind closed doors, maybe they haven't. But everyone knows that a summer overhaul is coming. So for them, this is a chance to prove something to. Show they still belong, or at the very least to put themselves in the shop window. That's going to add even more fire to the game, because when people are fighting for their careers, you see another level of desperation. Barry Ferguson's talked about this openly. The disappointment after the last match, the lack of intensity, the feeling that some players had already checked out. That's not going to fly in an all-firm match, and if it does, the backlash will be brutal. Fans want to see passion, they want to see effort. And even if the technical quality isn't there, they expect players to leave everything on the pitch. Anything less, and they'll never be forgiven. The reality is that Rangers are entering a period of transition that could define the next 5 to 10 years. The decisions made this summer, from who leads recruitment to who manages the team to who stays and who goes, will shape the very DNA of the club moving forward. There's potential here, no doubt. The club still has a massive fan base, a rich history, and a level of expectation that demands excellence. But if the people in charge get it wrong, it could set things back significantly. That's why so many people are calling for clarity. The supporters want transparency. They want to know what the plan is, who's in charge of executing it, and what the timeline looks like. Are we going to see a long-term rebuild, or is this about plugging gaps and trying to challenge immediately? Because let's be honest, it can't be both. If you're going for the long game, fans need to hear that and accept that results might take time. But if you're trying to win now, then you need a squad built to deliver from day one and a manager who knows how to handle that kind of heat. And let's not forget the European factor. Rangers will be back on the continental stage next season, and that brings a whole new layer of complexity. Balancing domestic ambitions with European fixtures isn't easy, especially when you've got a thin squad and a bunch of new faces trying to gel. That's why whoever takes over as manager has to hit the ground running. Not just in terms of results, but in setting the tone, building confidence, and giving fans something to believe in again. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Belief. Rangers fans have been through a lot in the past decade. They've seen the club fall, rise again, win the title back in spectacular fashion, only to lose momentum and slip into inconsistency. What they want now is direction, purpose, a clear sense that things are being built properly, not just for next week, but for the future. And maybe, just maybe, that starts with making the right choice in the dugout. Whether it's Sean Dyche, Steven Gerrard coming back for unfinished business, or a completely fresh face from abroad, the most important thing is that the club gets it right. There's no room for short-termism, no space for egos or vanity appointments. This has to be about Rangers Football Club, its identity, its values, and the desire to bring glory back to Ibrox. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers. FC, don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In what could be a seismic shift in Scottish football, the Emirates Group has reportedly made a £1 billion bid to take over Rangers Football Club. The news, which broke late last night, has sent shockwaves across the country, stirring both excitement and uncertainty among the Ibrox faithful. Sources close to the negotiations claim the Dubai-based conglomerate is prepared to inject unprecedented funds into the club, with the ambition of transforming Rangers into a global football powerhouse. The offer, said to be in the region of $1.2 billion, would mark one of the largest financial moves in British football history. While Rangers have enjoyed a resurgence in recent years, both on and off the pitch, this level of investment could catapult them into an entirely different stratosphere. The Emirates Group, already renowned for its influence in global sport, most notably through its partnership with Arsenal, appears to be eyeing Scotland as its next major football frontier. Insiders say the proposed deal includes plans for major renovations at Ibrox, expansion of the club's global brand, and a transfer war chest that could rival that of England's elite. There's even talk of establishing a Rangers football academy in the Middle East, as part of a wider strategy to merge Scottish tradition with international ambition. Despite the buzz, the potential sale also raises questions about identity and tradition. Many fans, while tempted by the financial promise, are wary of losing the essence of what makes Rangers unique. Club legends have urged caution, calling for transparency and dialogue before any deal is signed. As talks progress, all eyes will remain firmly fixed on the blue side of Glasgow. One thing is clear, if this bid goes through, Scottish football may never be the same again. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.